a demo session to know why exactly we are choosing Workday and what is going to be the use of Workday in future, and how does this Workday technology, Workday software, a cloud software works. So we have two parts in Workday. We have a functional and we have integration, and there are lots of modules in Workday. So we will be concentrating on HCM functional and the integration part. HCM functional is the base module. Without HCM functional knowledge, you would not be able to learn any other modules like recruitment, talent performance. You have finance module, payroll module. So the basic terms, the basic foundation is the HCM. Only if you learn HCM, if you have hands-on on HCM, you will be able to understand the other modules. There is a link with HCM and the other modules, advanced compensation, compensation. So all this is interlinked with HCM, as HCM is the base of Workday. So the agenda is quickly going to be: what is a HCM tool? What are the benefits of a HCM tool? How does this HCM cloud works? Like example, Workday. How does it work? What is Workday? What is Workday functional and what is Workday technical? So HCM is nothing but human capital management. And why why is this HCM so important for an organization? It is important because when you have a proper HCM tool like Workday, you will be able to do a quick sourcing of the right candidate based on your requirement. You will be able to develop the candidate's skills by providing learning. We have a separate learning module in Workday. If not to the learning module in Workday, most of the clients do not go with the Workday learning module, but they can have an integration of their own learning software with Workday. So you can have all sorts of updates as what is the candidate's skill right now, what learning he requires, what is the next process when he jumps into a different role or a higher role, or if he's getting a promotion, what required skills are needed. So all this can be tracked in Workday in a HCM tool. The HCM tool is also a base where you can plan the leadership. Let's say there is a director. So who's going to be the next director in the next upcoming promotion cycle? Does he have that skill to become a director? All this can be tracked in HCM tool. You can also track compensation. You can track different types of rewards. You can track different types of payments which are done to the employees. You can track the time, the login time, log off time. You can track the leave. You can track the expenses. All this can be tracked in a HCM tool like Workday. Not just this, you will be able to make business strategies like the organization level. Who is going to report to who is going to be the leader, who is going the team, who's going to be the leader of a team, who are the members under the team, and if there are any following members under those members. You can have that complete design done in a HCM tool. You can have a proper HR process which can be configured based on the company's requirements in Workday itself, in a powerful tool like Workday. All this, what we just I just told you, this can be automated. Okay, you have two options. You either do it manually or you can automate the process. The way you configure your Workday system will automatically initiate the following steps in order to be completed by the HR or by the managers or by the directors. You can just design an automatic process. And that is why a powerful HCM tool is very much required in a company. Okay, so when I say configuration doesn't mean that you'll have to do a coding. Configuration, a Workday HCM does not involve any sort of coding. Okay, it just requires the skill to understand and to design it. You will just be configuring. All the coding is already there at the background. Okay, you just need the functional knowledge to do it. And when it comes to Workday technical, in technical you will have a minimum coding which is required. You will have to learn XML, XSLT. Okay, XML is just for reading purpose. XSLT is the coding which you will have to learn in order to do an integration. Okay, and there is no other coding which is involved apart from XSLT. So when we get into the integration part, I will let you know where exactly to learn this XSLT from. So we know that HCM tool has these many benefits, but what does Workday offer different? There is SAP, there is PeopleSoft, there are so many other very less expensive tools in the market. But why does Workday is booming up and is in demand? The reason is it has two excellent features. One is it is cloud based. When I say cloud based, it's like a drive, Google Drive. All of us have used Google Drive. So whatever data you save, and you just close the Google Drive, and then again you log in, you will see that. Or if you log in from any other system, you will see that. Or you log in from any part of the world, you will see that data. You modify it, again you will be able to see that data, the modifications. You will be able to track what modifications you have done. So that is called cloud. Okay, so Workday is based on cloud. You don't require any kind of high-end laptop, high-end internet, high-end setup, high-end servers. You don't require all that. You don't require an IT team for maintenance of those servers. It is cost effective. Okay, you just need a basic laptop and a basic internet, username and password for Workday login from your company, and you're good to go. Okay. Every time you make changes, the data is getting saved in Workdays. Workday is a company. Okay, so it gets saved in Workday's database, data server. Okay, so whenever next time you log in again, the data will be pulled up from the server directly. The client does not have to maintain any servers, any IT team, and it will reduce the cost for him. That's why Workday tool is booming. And the second reason is every year you have two different releases from Workday coming up. This release offers the client the new technology, the enhanced technology, the enhanced functionality of a particular product free of cost. Workday, the company Workday, they work at the background, they enhance based on the feedbacks, they do their researches, they develop the product, they develop the functionalities, they develop the UI every year, twice, in the month of March and in September. And they release those functionalities, they give it to the client free of cost. Okay, and that's the reason the clients are very much attracted, because they keep getting the new technology, new enhancements every every 6 months, right? And this is an interview question, by the way, please write it down. The release happens March and September every year. So what is Workday now? Workday was built by these two people whom you see on the screen. We have David Duffett and we have Anil Bushri. Workday is a cloud-based financial management and a HCM software. It was founded by David, and it was founded by a PeopleSoft and a former strategist of PeopleSoft, Anil Bushri. These guys were actually working with Oracle. Okay, sorry, PeopleSoft. Mm, yeah, they were working with PeopleSoft, and then Oracle took over PeopleSoft in 2005. Like it was, uh, it was a hostile takeover. So once the company is done, these guys started working on Workday, and they came up with this product of Workday, and it is a super hit. Workday HCM is a cloud-based human resource management software, and it has different functionalities. As I told you, it has different modules like benefits, talent management, performance management, payroll, time tracking, compensation, workforce planning, adaptive planning, recruiting, integrations, uh, and many more. So the version, what I was talking about is this. This is the development or evolution of Workday platform from 2005 onwards. Right? They initially started with just the HCM, and then they slowly developed themselves in every version. You see 1, 21, 22, 23, 26, 29, 20, 30. This is the name of the version. So they initially started with human capital. They slowly moved on for expensive procurement, payroll US, financial management. They brought into third-party payroll Cloud Connect. They got a payroll Canada time tracking module. They got big data analytics. They got recruitment module, student recruitment, and so on. They have learning module, Prism Analytics, student suits. All this was developed down the line from 2005 onwards till today on different versions every year. As I said, on March and September, there is a release on the first Monday. It's an interview question. Please write down. Since 2021, there before 2021, the name of the versions, every version has a name. So the name of the version was V21, V22, V23, like so on. But since 2021, okay, March 2021, they changed the name. Every year there are two releases, right? Release 1, release 2. So they changed the name from version 1, version 2, version 3, version 30, version 32. From that to much more, which makes sense right now. Release 1, which is R1 2021, R2 2021. Then the next year, which is let's talk about this year, 2024. In 2024, R1 2024, R2 2024. Right? They changed the name like that. Any questions on this?
Hi, Srikanth.
Yeah. Right.
Srikanth, March and September, the versions were releasing. Okay. And at the meanwhile, any enhancements will be occurred in the system?
What? Sorry. Last part.
Any enhancement? Yeah, any enhancements will be occurred? Any changes will be occurred? Releasing means?
Mhm. Okay, that's a good question. Good thought, actually. Hold on to that thought. I will give you the answer in the next slides. Okay. So, any other questions for me? Right. So there is one more point which you need to make note of. Can be an interview question. There are four or five payrolls which currently Workday handles. Rest of all the countries' payroll is dealt by third party only. US, UK, Canada, France. Okay, and I think Germany was. I'm not sure Germany also came into picture, but there were four: UK, US, Canada, and France. They only four countries. The payroll is handled in Workday. Any other country like India or any China, all that is handled by third-party payroll companies, which is tied up with Workday. The reason why I'm telling you is these are separate kind of modules. I would say separate kind of module. Everything works separate. Payroll UK is different. Payroll US is different. Canada, France is different. Although the concept is same, but then the way you take the tax terms, the way you handle it is going to be different. So what is this Workday architecture? How does it work? As I told you, we just require a basic internet, and there is no coding which you're going to do. So how is the communication built from your laptop, which is you typing in English? How is it built with Workday? We use a language. Workday uses a language called XML. Okay, XML language. It converts your text into XML. It takes it to the data center and it gives you the output. Very simple. Okay, internet, whatever you type, it converts that into XML. It goes to the data center. The data centers are nothing but it is handled by Workday. I told you, right? Whatever changes you make, it goes and gets saved in the server. So this is called data center. That server is called data center. So what happens when you're doing functional and what happens when you do integration? When you do functional, whatever you require, it's converted into XML and it goes to the UI server in the data center and it picks the data, whatever you require, from the object management server. What is an OMS? Object management server. Object management server is nothing but a server where it stores all the objects. Workday is based on objects. Like Java, it is an object management system. Same way, Workday is based on business objects. Okay. In simple term, objects. What are objects? They are nothing but, for example, name is an object, address is an object, phone number is an object, worker ID is an object, work location is an object, your photo is an object, right? So on. There are lots of objects. So Workday will, the internet browser will contact the UI server. UI server will contact the OMS. OMS will take the data and will send the user back the information he's looking for. Now, there is a backup which is saved always. Not just the OMS which has the data, there is a persistent store. The persistent store always has the backup of all the information which you require, which your company had configured. It has a backup. The reason for this is the reason for this is let's say they lose the data. Let's say OMS loses some data. Where would the data come from? You will have to Workday will pull it up from persistent store and then they will send it to you. There's an example for it. Let's say in my previous organization, what happened is uh, for some reason, this employee uh, mistakenly deleted deleted set of configuration. from production itself. It was a huge configuration. The templates and all that was there. Mistakenly, it got deleted. Once it is deleted, it is deleted. There is no trash which you will use to recover, like how we have in emails or Gmail, Google Drive. You recover it from your trash. No, there's no option. You delete it, it's deleted. You will have to reconfigure it manually. Okay, you'll have to reconfigure it manually. That's the only option. Now, doing such a big configuration again, which was done like a year back, it's not easy. You cannot do that again. Follow up what all was done then, the emails, the requirements, all that. You'll have to just go through it again and do it. That's not easy. So the company contacted Workday. Workday retrieved that information from OMS or from persistent store, and they got the data back. So that's the reason all the data is getting stored in persistent store and the OMS. Same way, integrations. When you deal with integrations in Workday, you will use XML. It will contact the integration server. It will pick the data from OMS or persistent store, and it will give you the data back. Very simple architecture of Workday. Any questions on this? Okay, moving forward. So this is the answer to your question. Someone asked me a question as the versions are the enhancement is happening. So what happens to the actual functionality in the live environment? So the answer is you will. Uh, so I want you to imagine now. Okay, whatever I'm going to talk, I want you to imagine you as a Workday consultant. You will be doing the configuration, functional configuration, or integration configuration, whatever module. You will be doing the configuration on Workday system. Now, let's say I am Workday. I am enhancing it. I am doing changes. But you are working. How is this gonna work? Because if I do some changes, your work will be affected. So how will this work? So the solution for this with Workday is that there are different Workday environments. This Workday environment is called as tenant. Okay? Workday is the tool, the application is the software is called as tenant. Why do you call it as tenant? The reason is Workday is a company. They give the software to the customers on a rent basis. You have to pay a fee for a year, and they will give you the username and password. That's why it is called as tenant. You cannot own it like the other softwares back in those days where you had to buy the software, you had to download it, you have to have the application on your desktop, and that's how you can use it. But Workday doesn't work that way. It is a browser based. It has a mobile application, yes, but it is a browser based. So you will be given a link for your own company, specific to your company. So if there are 100 companies, 100 organizations, 100 different links will be given, and it will be rented out on yearly basis. Like every year, you'll have to pay this much of amount, and you can use that application. So what happens when you are using the application and me as Workday doing enhancement and trying to develop whatever the functionality is or the UI? For this purpose, there are different tenants given to the customer. Okay, implementation tenant. It's an interview question. You can write down. There are different levels of tenant. You have implementation tenant. You have sandbox tenant. you have implementation preview tenant, you have sandbox preview tenant, and then is the production tenant. Okay, you will not be touching the actual production tenant. Production tenant is meant only and only for uh, the last, for the users, for the users, for the employees. Okay, you as a configurator or implementer will be working only on implementation tenant and sandbox tenant, right? Implementation tenant is used for all sorts of activity as a workday consultant you will do. Some mistakes, some trial and error basis, some, you create something, you try to figure out how it is working, all those functionalities. If you do certain thing, what will be the outcome? If you delete certain things, what will the outcome look like? So all those kind of workarounds are done in implementation tenant. What is implementation preview tenant? Workday at the background will be working on these functionalities. So in the month of March and September, it comes up, it is released. Before that, before March, 2 months before, which is January, Workday will release the new functionality for the customers to see and feel and understand the changes which is going to happen in the month of March. Those changes are posted in implementation preview tenant. Okay, so you can do your configuration based on the new functionality which has come up. You can see how the look of your configuration will be. Those changes are posted in implementation preview tenant. Okay, implementation tenant is used for all sorts of workaround which you do, play around, delete, add, modify, all that. Preview tenant is used for Workday. When they release the functionality, you can see how it works. Okay, you can do your configuration and check. Sandbox tenant is used only for testing. Okay, sandbox is used only for testing. So when you do your configuration in implementation tenant, you will move the data from implementation tenant to sandbox tenant. In the sandbox tenant, the actual UAT testing happens, unit acceptance testing happens. Once it is approved, that's when it will be moved to production. Okay, so sandbox tenant is used only for testing. As in, you can do all the configurations, you can do all the play around and all that, but the purpose of that tenant is just for testing. It will be a replica. It will be a replica of production. Every Friday, based on your company's policies, every Friday, this sandbox tenant will be copied to production. Whatever data is in the production will be copied to sandbox. Okay. Again, it's based on your policy. Most of the companies follow every Friday policy. Every Friday, this tenant will be refreshed with production data. Whatever data, live employees and all that, securities and everything will be copied to sandbox. So whatever your testing and the configuration is, it will go. So you have to make sure that your configuration and testing is completed by Friday. Okay? And then there is something called sandbox preview tenant. What is sandbox preview tenant? It is similar to implementation preview tenant, where Workday will post their new functionalities before releasing it. They will post it to sandbox as well. You can check how it will look, the functionality will look like. Okay, then these are 5 types of tenants, and Workday is working at the background. They will not disturb any of your configuration which you're doing in implementation or sandbox or production. They will only update the implementation preview tenant, which you will not be using. They will update only the sandbox preview tenant, which you will not be using. Does this answer your question? Does this answer your question?
Yes, Srikant. Yeah.
So apart from this, there are other types of tenants as well, like the GMS tenant. GMS tenant is now closed. It was free before, given by Workday to the customers for practice purpose. Okay, just to practice. It is not a it is just a dummy tenant, a demo tenant, just to practice, see how the Workday functionalities work and all that. Now it is closed. But yes, if customer wants it, they can pay money to the Workday and they will give you the GMS tenant for practice purpose. Just for practice, just to see how the functionality works. No other reason. Then there is customer central tenant. Okay, something called customer central tenant. This is something which has come up newly in 2023. In 2023, 2023, 2022, I think 2023. Yeah, came up in 2023. What is the use of this customer central tenant? This is used to move the data, migrate. I was telling you that you move the data from implementation to sandbox, then sandbox to production after testing. So this tenant is used to move the data. It will capture, it acts as a security level. Okay, it will capture the data from implementation. It will show you all the fields and all that as what you're trying to move, and it will show you what is existing in the tenant you are moving. Let's say you're moving from implementation to sandbox. It will show you what is that you are moving. It will show you in sandbox currently what is available. Whatever you're moving, what is available in sandbox, whether that field is available or not, that configuration is available or not. It will show you that, and then you can proceed with your uh, migration. It is not used for anything else but just for migration. Okay, and most of the time few customers don't even use this. Okay, they directly use a solution method to move the data from implementation to sandbox. Any questions so far? So I have another 12 minutes before I jump into another meeting. So what are we going to cover in HCM and technical? That's what we will see now. So the course duration for functional and technical is going to be around 45 classes. Okay, 1 hour of class. Actually, it will go more than an hour at times if I don't have any meetings in my office. It will go more than an hour. Else, it will be 1 hour class, and it will go for 45 classes. I will try to close it with before 45. Okay, but it is gonna, well, I would say right now it's 45. Okay, if it is getting over before 45, don't panic. But I would go slow and I would explain it to you. I will give you the interview question and answers then and there. I want you to maintain a separate book where you can write down the question and answers of Workday functional and technical. I'll give you the questions then and there. There will not be any other separate sessions for question and answer. The reason is when you are learning the topic, you will write down the question and answer then and there. If you write down after 45 days or after 30 days, you will not even remember what exactly we spoke. So that's the reason question and answers will be given to you then and there on the topic we are discussing. This is just a gist. The actual content will be shared to you by Leo Training. We will be covering the concepts, navigations, organizations in Workday, staffing model, jobs, positions, compensation, business process, and different types of transactions which can be performed in Workday. Okay, this is the functional portion. All the breakup of this screen in much detailed way will be given to you by Leo training. This is just for you to know what exactly we will cover. On integration, we will be covering reports. There are 32 calculated fields out of 32. The important ones and the regularly used ones are some 10, 14, which we will be covering. We will cover Enterprise Interface Builder, EIB integration, Core Connector integration. We will cover Studio Basics. Okay, I think it is missing here. We will cover Studio Basics on integration. Okay. Any questions so far?
No, no questions.
So the breakup of all this will be given to you by Leo trainings. Okay, all of this. So coming to integration, integration again, Workday integration is based on Workday Cloud, and there are uh, two types where how the integration is performed. Like you use web services and you use custom APIs. Okay. So what are these web services and APIs? We will learn this when we are into integration topic, where I will be explaining to you what are these public APIs, web services, and customs. For now, we will just understand how this integration works. So this integration, which is built in Workday system, configured in Workday system, is connected to different payrolls, different organizations, or different service providers. Now let's take an example. Uh, HDFC, okay, HDFC Bank. Let's say HDFC Bank is an insurance provider for your company right now who's working, wherever you're working, they are the insurance provider. Every month, your insurance money is given to HDFC Insurance. How will this integration work? So what happens is when the employee joins, the data of that employee will be sent to HDFC in whatever format, in a file, in a Word format, Excel format, whatever format. It is sent to HDFC manually. Okay. But when you talk of integration, how will it work is you will feed in the data in Workday, as in you will create your employee profile, somebody will create an employee profile for you, all that. As soon as you create an employee profile and you are hired, let's say today is your hire date, you are joining today, 18th of November. As soon as the 18th of November comes, the integration which is built automatically picks the data of your profile which is created today. It will send the data to HDFC Insurance. How is it picking? How is it running without any manual intervention? Is because of scheduling. When somebody configures an integration, they will schedule an integration to run every day at specific time. So the integration runs, it picks the data, it sends it to HDFC Insurance to process your insurance. Okay, that's how the integration works. The basic concept of integration is that. Okay. We will get into deep as how the integration is configured, how is the data picked, how is the data sent, all that will be covered when we are into deep into integration. Right now, I think this is just the base which you need to know. Similarly, other integrations are built. Now, this is just an insurance. Let's say payroll integration. How is your data sent to a payroll company? The same way it is sent to payroll company. Okay, that's the base, the concept. So what is an integration? Integration is a bridge between two systems like Workday and a HDFC Insurance. It is a bridge. It is connected. Workday and the third party HDFC Insurance is connected through an integration. There are two types of integrations: outbound, inbound. Okay, outbound means there is always a confusion in this. What is outbound? What is inbound? We are learning Workday. So, Workday is the base system. You should always talk from the perspective of Workday. Anything which is going out of Workday is called outbound. Anything which is coming into Workday is called inbound. Okay. Outbound means going out, inbound means coming into Workday. So outbound integrations can be outbound where data is exported from Workday and sent to HDFC Insurance or your payroll company, PwC or ADP. How does this work? This works, as I told you, that there is an employee profile created, there is all that created. So automatically the web service or the report, okay, the schedule will happen, and the schedule will pick the data of your worker profile. Let's say there is somebody called XYZ. So the XYZ profile is picked, his date of birth is picked, his date of join is picked by the integration, his uh, hourly pay is picked, his time, if there are no leaves or if there is a leave also, the leave data, the working hours, everything is picked, and it is sent to HDFC Insurance using different methods like FTP, SOAP, or attachment. Attachment means like email attachment, like how we do an attachment, right? On the email, same way. There are different methods. It's not complicated. When you begin with integration, it sounds little complicated, but when you see the Workday screen, it will be simpler. Okay. What is inbound integration? The same way, integrations can be inbound where data from the HDFC Insurance comes into Workday. And the concept is same. You have sent the data out using FTP or REST or attachment. Same way, it will come inside using those protocols. Transfer, you call it as transfer protocols. It comes into Workday system and it goes and sits in the respective objects. Workday is built on object. So if it is name, it will go and sit in the name object. If it is salary data, it will go and sit in the salary data object. Okay. Any questions so far?
No, no questions.
All right. So 8 o'clock is the time you all are comfortable. 8 p.m. IST. So let's you can discuss this with Leo trainings as how and when this classes should start. You will be provided with the videos, you will be provided with the documents, and the presentation which you see right now. This is just for my internal use. This is just the small information which I wanted to share with you. Same way, when I take a class, I will be showing you these kind of PPTs where small informations are there, but all that is picked from the main book which Leo training will share you. Okay, so this PPT is just for me. It is just a help uh, which I take for training. Okay, so this PPT will not be shared to you because it is of no use. So actually, the main book will be shared with you.
Shrikant, do we get a practice session? I'm sorry.
Practice session? Yes, yes, you will get a workday tenant for yourself where you can do your practice every single day.
Oh,
Whatever I train you, whatever I show you, you just have to repeat the same. You don't have you I will not be giving you any homeworks. If I show you that this is how the configuration is, this is the interview question and answer, you will have to do the same at least 2 3 times in that practice session of yours. I will not be giving you any homework or any scenarios and all that. I will tell you the scenarios on the meeting itself, on the training sessions itself. You will have to repeat that scenarios every single time. at least twice or thrice in order to get familiar with it. Okay?
Okay, thanks.
No homeworks, don't worry.
Yeah.
Hey,
Srikant?
I have one question.
Yeah.
Are we working on the workday finance side?
No, I've
Mm.
not worked on Workday Finance. That is a different module.
Okay, all right.
Srikant, so during the course will be going on in the system, how we implement I mean, how we will configure in the system like
It
this,
will
or
be.
just showing the people,
Tell me. You're showing
or
the.
PPTs like this, or something.
No, no. Whatever I show you is the real time work which we will be doing in Workday itself. In actual company, when you work, whatever you do, that's what I will show you. It's a real
Okay,
time work.
okay.
So, all right, guys, I have to jump into another call right now. So, please speak to Leo Training, confirm your spot, and we will be connecting soon.
Srikant,
Sure.
I have three more questions if
Yeah,
you
yeah.
have time.
Quickly, quickly.
Yeah, yeah. Means if suppose in USA, Workday is having big clients or Oracle, SAP, or HCM or SAP. Means
You
what?
cannot compare. They have their own client base. I mean, I don't know how to say that, but they have their own client bases. There are companies using SAP, PeopleSoft, Oracle, Workday. But I can say that Workday is actually booming.
Okay, means we will get a immediate job if we will do the Workday
Yes,
compared to SAP and Oracle.